position, please. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
We appreciate.
Okay, watch the skies. We now show uncorrelated targets approaching.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, That Would Be Rad. We are a podcast that majors in 80s and 90s nostalgia, comic culture, all things paranormal, and minors in retro video games, tabletop RPGs, pre-internet mysteries, and trying to raise our kids to be half as cool as we were back in the 80s. We're your hosts, Woody Brown
And Tyler Benz.
Well, hello, long lost... The prodigal son return. I think I already used that before. If you,
Oh yeah, I think we've used it like every other episode almost.
I don't want to take up too much time up top. Basically, coming in and apologizing to folks for being gone for so long.
Which we do apologize.
We do apologize for that, and we appreciate the messages and concern. The quick version of it is life has gotten super busy and crazy for us, and we just couldn't line up, and so we decided, you know what? Let's take a little bit of a sabbatical. And when we come back, it's going to be getting closer to fall, closer to that perfect time of year, closer to our favorite time of year. And then El Nino had to come and just screw it all up.
Well, they're saying El Nino this winter is about to be crazy.
Yep. The extremes are going to be extreme. So anyhow, just wanted to say thank you for hanging with us in the interim.
Yes.
And this is the comeback.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I'm pretty excited. Because, you know, there are times when we have topics that we want to talk about.
Actually, let me just cut you off real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to make my 50% stake in this company executive decision.
49%.
Yeah. I love the topic that you think we're going to discuss.
Okay.
But I thought, you know what? There's probably going to be maybe some newer listeners, and it's our first time back in a while. So I kind of want to pivot, and I want to do something that you have no idea about.
You son of a gun.
Yeah, and that is, I was actually kind of inspired by another podcast recently.
Copycat.
Yeah, total plagiarism. But I thought it was a really good idea, and like, you know, we've kind of hinted at certain topics, but we've never done like a full-on sort of conspiracy theory. And I mean, I know what you're thinking. It's Tyler in his conspiracy corner, but like, it kind of is. I want to do today a sort of a breakdown and a ranking of conspiracies and where Woody and myself stand on those conspiracies.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, I was so nervous when you interrupted me.
I know you were.
And pivoted.
You're probably even more nervous now.
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous because
So much
you know, put me on blast. Is that with it? And a lot of editing.
Yeah.
But,
so here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking I will present a conspiracy theory, or I mean, I guess technically they would all be conspiracy theories. Some of which are ones that we have, you know, rambled for hours about. Others. Maybe
like on the show, you're just saying we've rambled just in our conversations.
Both really.
Okay.
Some of these are lesser known, like you may not know as much about some or whatever. But
insult.
Yeah, total jab.
Okay.
But I do think it's going to let people kind of know where we stand on a lot of these things.
Okay.
Which is actually kind of dangerous now that I'm saying that out loud.
Yeah, it is dangerous because now it's like, okay, this is part of the reason why sometimes these conspiracy things kind of just, it's not necessarily get under my skin, but
lose a lot of fans.
You can really sort of polarize yourself. Yeah, and sort of, I don't know. So we'll see how I answer them. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, I swear, if you do the
politically... I'll be like more general.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Well, no, that's okay.
I can't express, because you know, people might think this is fake here. But I cannot tell you enough. First off, I had no idea that Tyler was going to be doing this. Second, I have no idea what he's got written down and what he's going to be presenting me. So I'm so nervous that this is going to be the first comeback show, but the last episode ever, I guess. I don't, just
Yeah, it
depending
could
on.
be. We could lose all of you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should say up top, speaking about polarization, none of these things are enough to stop listening to your best friends over. So let me just put that out there. But I think it will be interesting, and I think it will show our newer listeners and longer, long time listeners, just give us a little insight about like our beliefs, I guess, when it comes to this stuff. I also think that I'm going to give sort of the ranking system is going to be 1 to 5. So 1 being, I don't believe this thing at all, or 5, I would bet my children's lives on it. Okay.
So 1, not in a million years. 5, definitely.
All day, every day.
Okay.
Yeah. You ready?
Man. As ready as I'll ever be, pal.
Okay, so
scared.
Like I said, some of these are going to be sort of softball, sort of like
seemingly easy, but I'm sure I'll surprise you.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I do like we're free to sort of discuss as we go along, so it's not just like rapid fire. Bam, bam, bam,
yeah,
bam.
yeah.
So,
okay, good. But now, hold on. Also, I just want to make sure I understand the setup. You're going to be sort of naming the conspiracy. Are you going to tell us some details of it? Is it like a 40,000 foot view, or what was it?
Yeah. Well, maybe the
level?
lesser known ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one is seemingly kind of easy, but now that I'm looking at it, I actually don't know where we stand on it, and that is Stevie Wonder isn't blind.
Okay. Man, okay. Maybe the first reaction shouldn't be a laugh.
That's insensitive.
I'll be honest, this is actually pretty new to me. I'm not extremely aware of this. I think you and I have talked about it before, briefly, because I'm always just like, I don't know. And then you'll show me something, I'm like, okay, maybe he's not. So obviously there's a conspiracy that and here's the other thing. I don't even know enough about it or about him in that sense to know, do
you hate him?
How blind is he? I don't know.
You've hated him always.
No, dude. I love Stevie Wonder, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the original sort of claim is. Is it like zero eyesight?
There's no correct or incorrect answer, but just to give sort of how
about this? You tell me. For this one, I'm undecided because I don't know enough about it.
Well, that's what's kind of funny, because oddly enough, as much of a true believer as I am, I'm actually kind of on the fence with this as well. I remember this coming out like, it's been years, but I feel like it sort of like peaks. It's, peaks out of like obscurity like every once in a while and then kind of goes away. But like, I will say the video evidence is kind of hard to just brush aside. And again, I also did that for a long time, but like there's several different ones. There's one where you literally see Lady Gaga like blow a kiss from the stage, and then the camera pans over and there he is in the audience and he just blows a kiss back. There's like,
so is the claim basically that he can just see just whole cloth?
Yeah. Okay. Basically it was like a sort of a gimmick to propel his career.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I will say, I do agree with Woody. Well, actually, I totally disagree with Woody from what I just said. I actually think he's brilliant, and I love his music.
Dude, come on.
Anyway, go ahead, Wood.
I love Stevie Wonder. I feel like I was like, I love butter stuff. No. His music's awesome, man. And, being a child of the 80s, it was just like he was just in that time period,
Also, has he ever had any... I don't think he's ever really had any, like, controversy, really. Has he?
Yeah, other than, potentially this.
Faking his
not
blindness.
That I know of, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, he was also a musician during the time where, like, you didn't really have access to just dig in deep into every little, corner of their lives and stuff. So I don't even know, like, is he married? Does he have kids? No idea.
Yeah.
Beyond like Superstition, I guess, and like a couple other songs,
You had to look that
I just
up.
never really dove deep enough to be like, there's a movie about Ray Charles. There's not a movie about Stevie Wonder yet. So I don't really know. And so,
yeah. He's kind of like Bill Cosby. Like, everybody likes him,
well,
I'm kidding.
I think maybe not everybody anymore. Okay, Puddin' Pop. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this.
He's totally blind, as we're told. 5 being not a chance he's blind.
I'm gonna go 2.5 because I don't have enough information. Okay,
I'm gonna go.
Because it's like, even Lady Gaga blowing him a kiss, it's like, dude, production level these days, there's someone in his ear going, she just blew you a kiss. Okay,
right. Well, the other thing is, like, there's several where, like, he, like, something like a mic stand will be falling or something, and he'll just reach up, like, straight up Daredevil style.
Okay, well, maybe he's got some superpowers. Now, maybe he's just not. Maybe he's not 100% like blackout blind, but maybe it's more like very, very vision impaired. So, like, I have a family member who they can only see sort of like, they can't see in the middle of the middle of their vision field is completely like blank. And
so
then
they have like periphery vision?
Yeah. And so you have to get really kind of like close to them, and then they have to kind of like turn to the side to see who you are, kind of thing. And that field of like vision is increasingly sort of shrinking over time. And so
that's scary.
Maybe, especially since it hadn't always been that way. That's the scary part. So maybe his vision is something like that, Yeah. And it's just like, in the 80s, it's sort of like, my daughter broke her ankle a year or two ago. And, we asked, like, how does this happen? Because really it was like a ligament tore a piece of bone off of her ankle.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, she didn't even how do we prevent this? And then actually the doctor said, well, this happens all the time.
What?
It's just back in the day, we didn't have, like, not everyone went and just got an x-ray or whatever, because the technology was more expensive back then, and just, the resources, all of that. And so in the 80s, this probably did happen to you. But it was just like, I sprained your ankle, put some ice on it.
Yeah, right.
And so, back then, when he grew up, probably like in the 60s and 70s, they're just like, oh, he can't see. Who knows?
What if at the
extent
height
of it?
What if at the height of his career, he just like needed reading glasses?
And it was just like, I got an idea.
He's like, I need exactly. He's
Everybody's
like,
got a gimmick. This will be mine. I don't know, man. Come on.
I don't know. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go middle of the road.
My Sherry. Okay, 3.
3. Good. And also, this is not an episode on Stevie Wonder because we just took like 10 minutes.
Boy, we did. So kind of even more nervous now about the other conspiracies that you could possibly bring up. But go ahead.
Next one is a little more difficult, and that is, we live in a matrix.
Okay. Well, we've done full-on episodes about that, more than one, I believe. Even.
Correct.
And I think, in terms of the evidence being strong to support those theories.
Yeah.
And that's, would you consider it a conspiracy?
Well, not really conspiracy, but like sort of like I said, some of these will fall into not necessarily conspiracy, but they're sort of in the zeitgeist. And they're sort of fringe topics that, like...
So it's broad enough to include this one.
Yeah, for sure.
For those of you that aren't really, which, by the way, if you're listening to the show, you probably are aware of that theory, but you can hear our episodes about it.
Hear more about this on previous episodes of That Would Be Rad. Season 4, Episode 8, A Glitch in the Matrix, Evidence of Our Simulated Reality, or Season 2, Episode 11, The Simulation Theory.
And we'll kind of present that evidence to you, because I don't want to dive down that rabbit trail here, but I would say I'm on like maybe like a 4 here, because of how we defined it in those episodes. And you'll know what I mean if you've listened to it, or if you go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I will say, not to like extend this one also, but I do think that for our newer listeners, we're not necessarily looking at this through the lens of like the movie The Matrix. This is more,
right.
like for me, it's like almost sort of the, even some of the sort of the points, like even in the Bible that sort of speak about like, we look through like a darkened glass or it just sort of alleges that there's like another sort of world happening that we're unable to see. And so this sort of matrix idea is that there is some kind of, I don't know, what would you say? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, I think, and we'd mentioned this ad nauseum on both of those episodes, actually, what we end up coming to is so often because of the movie The Matrix, which is awesome, by the way, people think of it as like there's this computer system,
right,
that is kind of in control of everything. And we're just like living in these pods or something. And we kind of, on our show, kind of more sort of related it to like, okay, you are on Earth and you're here. There's this thing that was made by someone else, quote, I'm doing quotations, you can't air quotes or whatever,
right,
that created this world / system, if you will. And then we're in these human avatars that are spiritual forms basically embody.
Yeah.
And then we go back somewhere. So there's like an end goal potentially. And so like that's sort of the approach that we were sort of looking at it in terms of quote unquote Matrix. And whenever you kind of look at it through that lens, it makes it more like a 4.5 for me.
Yeah.
Again, like a hardcore sort of, I don't even know if atheist would be the right thing. I think would
I think that'd be
also
fair.
be able to sort of like view it in a more sort of, it would be more of like a sort of computerized, sort of system type situation.
Less sort of religious / spiritual and more sort of like.
Right. But, I kind of like those moments in any belief system where there's like this parallel that, we're kind of looking at it in different ways, but we're kind of ending up in the same spot,
Right.
And that kind of stuff is really cool. But anyways, that's where I kind of stand on it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 5 because I 100% believe that there is a Matrix-esque sort of thing happening in our existence, even from synchronicities. I've actually seen, like, I was just showing my daughter this video this morning where this guy, like, he's like an audio visual guy. And so he basically takes all these like animal sounds. Have you seen this?
No. I've seen the kid that does the bird sounds though.
Oh, that kid is amazing.
Amazing, right?
God, we need to have him on the show.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, incredible. No, but this guy like basically goes in and he speeds up or like slows down. So he like pitches up or pitches down, like all these different animal sounds. And like every single animal sounds exactly the same if it's like sped up or slowed down really low, which to me is kind of like, wow, that's crazy. Like if we are looking at this like a matrix and this is some sort of like programming, well, the animals are, yes, we love animals. Yes, they're amazing and they help our life. They bring joy to our lives. But at the same time, it's like they're all running off like the same code almost.
But what do you mean by they sound the same?
So,
like the frequency, it's hard to distinguish between which animal's doing what because the frequencies are the same or something?
Well, so basically he takes like a gorilla, right? Okay. Which is like very low, like sub-octave.
And it's like, credit card, no problem.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then he like speeds it up and suddenly it sounds exactly like a seagull. And then he takes like a seagull, and like he just goes through all these animals, and it's like it's kind of, I mean, again, it could be coincidental, but I mean, this video is like so long, and it's just him going through like all these multiple animals.
Dude, oh man, I just picture this guy that's like, I'm telling you, man, when you take the Beatles and you slow it down, and then he's just like, he does that, and it's just like, I want to hold you. And then he's just like slows it down. It's like Metallica, like it's actually Metallica, like boom, Anyways, I just think that would be a hilarious video. Sorry to derail you there. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So this is an add-on.
Sub question.
Do you believe that Nicki Minaj, her vocals, her music,
idea.
Is Jay-Z just pitched up?
I've never.
Have you heard of this?
No.
It's kind of crazy. And it's actually a perfect addendum to this.
To this one. Pitch.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard that, but that's funny.
And if you've never heard of it, you can say 1 or 5.
1.
Okay, 1. It's pretty crazy. I'll send you a couple videos. It's pretty wild. Addendum to the original Matrix question. So I'm a 5, you're a 4.5.
Yeah.
Is Keanu Reeves immortal?
Is he Neo? I'm going 5 on that one, man. I hope so. He's awesome, dude.
He is awesome.
In real life, you know what I mean? He just seems like such a nice
he is.
Dude.
Nice young boy.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go a 2 because he has retained his youth. I mean, it is kind of uncanny.
But wouldn't that be like a higher score? You're already confusing your own rules, man.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Ladies and gentlemen, now you understand. Now you understand why he's got 49%.
No. 2 is like I'm going to give the possibility that he could be immortal.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I was right.
Okay.
Okay, next one. The Simpsons are able to tell the future or predict future events.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
It's a pretty cool place if you're a Martian.
Or a vampire.
You think you really know what's happening around here, don't you?
Is anyone out there?
We're fighters for truth, justice, and the American way.
Hey, this is Woody.
And this is Tyler. And you're listening to That Would Be Rad.
And now back to our show. Yeah, I've heard this one before.
It's now this
It
one
is
nuts.
crazy because, but you know, the other part of it that's weird, or I'll say this about The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what we're talking about here, just, give it an afternoon and, go into it and Google through it and kind of see all this stuff, because it is kind of weird. Sometimes they'll have episodes where this stuff happens and then next thing you know, it's like real life. Mm-hmm. And I've seen explanations on both sides of this argument. So here I'm going to go with like a higher, like maybe like a 3.5. And here's why.
Okay.
Because first off, I can't believe how long it's been on television, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then ultimately it becomes a thing where when you're writing fiction, and you've been doing it for so long that like there's so much in our history that is just such a repetitive pattern. Then when you're creating like characters or events, it's almost like you could kind of make up a bunch of stuff that could potentially happen and then be correct about it, you know? So anyway, I don't know, 3.5.
I'm going to go 5 because I did a deep dive a while back because I was sort of like, I was kind of like you. I was thinking, well, like, could some of this stuff, but once you start actually looking at it and you see the stuff like side by side, like when there was some like UN meeting or EU, some kind of World Economic Forum meeting or something where I think it was Trump during his first term, and he like has his hand on like a globe, and then it shows like these sort of Middle Eastern other representatives all around him, and it's to a T exactly what had happened in The Simpsons, and it just, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, there's videos that are like an hour long of just showing. Addendum question.
Okay.
Is The Simpsons show actually creating reality? Which is kind of one of our favorite topics.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, with both of these, I say 3.5, like kind of loosely. You know, do I think The Simpsons? Well, this kind of goes back. I don't know what kind of numerical score I can give that, to be truthful. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 just to say I'm right in the middle of that. But I will say this. You and I have talked about this at length, and there are times here lately, too, that I'm just like, I'll explain. Just bear with me. We've talked about how when you are someone that's creative in any capacity, that in our minds, we kind of, I think I can speak for you here, but we kind of believe that you're sort of tapping into this thing that is certainly a gift. And whenever you...
Almost like an Akashic record type thing.
Yeah, like, and the more that you kind of tap into it, the more access you kind of have to it. And that's why like some songs are not great and some other songs are like amazing.
Right.
It's the only way that I can explain how those things like come to you, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not like that at all. But I will say there have been times, recently especially, where I'll hear a song and I am not joking you. I'm like, dude, I wrote that melody. Years ago, but I never did anything with it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's on the radio and it's someone else. And so there's got to be something like that. And so I say all of that to say, you know, are the Simpsons creating reality? Maybe not, but maybe because there's so much creative power in the development of these episodes and all of that, that they've tapped into it so much that they're just like right in that sort of,
like egregore, tulpa.
Yeah, or maybe they're just like tapped into it to where they know
right.
kind of what's going to happen necessarily. You know, not necessarily that they're the ones creating the reality, but that they're sort of foretelling it in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, we've talked about this before, but like, you know, Keith Richards has said multiple times that he's not talented. He's just a better antenna for like picking up and like, basically just, he talks about just like grabbing something from the air that was like for him. And then I've heard recently, because my daughter, I know your daughter has had a huge Michael Jackson phase. Yeah. But my oldest has, well, in the last like year, really gotten into Michael Jackson, and which we still haven't seen the movie, but
yeah, us either.
I just didn't know if there's some like,
like stuff that might be inappropriate or something.
Yeah. But anyway, there's apparently this story which I had never heard up until recently, to where apparently he like woke up, it was like middle of the night. He ends up calling, I think it was Quincy Jones, but I could be wrong. He ends up calling like the engineer, and Quincy Jones was like, I got to get to the studio. He gets there, he records the song, and they were like, wow, you know, what was like the big rush? What, you know, you could have recorded this on like a recorder or whatever at your house. And he was like, I just had the innate feeling that if I didn't record this, that Prince was going to have this. Prince would be given this song next.
That's what I'm saying. Like I before coming to this conclusion about how it sort of feels like it works, I had never heard the Keith Richards quote, and I certainly never heard of this. And
It's
then
amazing,
immediately it makes sense, dude.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
I don't know what it all means, Basil, but there's something there.
Yeah, there is something there.
2.5.
2.5. I'm going to go with 3 because I think it's possible. It's possible as much as it's not possible. Yeah. And I will say there's a lot of other stuff which I haven't actually looked into a ton of this, but apparently like Matt Groening, or I think it's pronounced Groening, maybe, the creator, apparently he's like a 33rd degree Freemason. Okay. And so like there's all this sort of conspiracy that like goes in that direction. Again, I'm underqualified to talk about it, but I'm going to land on a 3. Okay. Next up, Paul McCartney was killed and replaced, and the new Paul that we have now is not the original Paul.
And this is one of the very first conspiracies that Tyler ever talked about with me. I mean, 20 years ago.
It is so...
He loves it. It's compelling,
it.
I won't lie. Yeah. But I'll give you my answer right away, and that's a 1.
1?
1.
See, I'm going to go with 4 because, again, there are a multitude of videos out there. And, like, this is one where I think because there's just such, like, just fanatics of the Beatles, you have some, like, hardcore, like, I mean, I don't want to say, like, experts. I don't know if that's the way to say it. But, like, these people know, every single line, every single throwaway line that was on a B-side that maybe changed from the like record release. Like there's people that are like just obsessed with this stuff. And there's one guy, and I want to say it's called like The Winged Beetle or something. It's like a documentary that was made forever ago. I don't even think there's a voiceover. I think it's all just like text, but it's like 2 hours long or something. But it is absolutely fascinating. And it like, I mean, by the end, you're just kind of like, dang.
What do you mean there's text? Is like a silent movie?
Well, I think, as far as I remember, I think so, yeah. I think it was made so long ago that it's literally like, it doesn't have like the AI voiceover or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's really fascinating. But yeah, I'm going to go with 4, I think.
Yeah, I'd be interested too. I mean, the same is true for all of these, where listeners stand, with them all. But for me, I got to say 1. Although I will tell you, watching some of these things or hearing it, sort of presented, there are times within that I'm like, okay, maybe, and then I'm like, no, I don't believe it. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I feel like gets me the most is sort of all the weird stuff that the Beatles themselves have said. I mean, I get you could get really heavy into all the sort of the gematria and all the album art, like symbolism and all this kind of stuff, like, which I love. I mean, we both love all that stuff. But for me, the little comments that you hear from the Beatles themselves, specifically Paul and Ringo, where, they'll be on a talk show and they'll just like drop a little line. And it's like, man, like either they're like sort of like playing the game and sort of like tongue in cheek, like a wink to the...
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just so out of the blue and just random that it's sort of like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I know.
Like there's one that I think is famous.
I think there's like a lyric where they say Paul is dead.
Yeah.
Like later on, like after...
Well, like there's one specific thing where Ringo's like on some late night talk show and I can't remember which one it was, maybe Leno or something, in the 90s, maybe 2000s, and he makes some comment about like, oh, I heard something about Paul, and his immediate response is like, which one? And then he kind of laughs and then just immediately goes into like, answering the question or whatever. And it's just like, there's a ton of those that it's kind of like, what are they doing? Like, are they just like playing to this theory or?
Yeah.
But yeah, I am at a 4 because once you go down this rabbit trail, it's fascinating. And I mean, oddly enough, there really is like a ton of evidence for it. Next up, Jeff Epstein is alive.
I've seen this. I've seen the pictures. There's even a guy, I think, that even has the same name or something, right?
Wait for it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. God. It is crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with like, man, I'm going to go 4 on it.
Okay.
And that's with very limited knowledge. I'll be honest. I don't know much about it because like everyone knows if they've listened to more than 5 shows, you know, as far as conspiracy stuff goes, I typically just hit the skip button in life.
Disappointed. I'm going to go with 5 because just looking into all the, what would you call it? Hullabaloo? Is that a good word?
I like it.
Just surrounding the prison, the jail situation, the video footage, the people like sort of putting someone into the van right at the exact time. Like, I 100% think he's definitely alive. So I will go 5.
Okay.
Addendum to that question.
Oh boy.
Palm Beach Pete is Epstein.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the guy. Yeah. I mean, dude, then 2 sides of this coin. One, maybe he is. The other side is, dude, if he's not, how crappy the rest of your life is because of somebody else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how, you know, the second that I saw that still shot of Chad Bowers, I said, this looks exactly like Tyler. And so what must that be like for Tyler to live in that skin? You know?
But I did get a wife out of it.
To take that day to day, you know, is just, I feel for you. I feel for you, pal.
I've just had all the mirrors removed and, you know, so my answer is going to surprise you. I think it is a 1.
For Pensacola Pete or whatever?
Palm Beach Pete. Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is, to me, it just kind of feels like...
too easy.
Yeah, it feels too easy. It feels like a psyop. You know, you're seeing him on like guest on shows. I will say there is something about his voice that at times could sound familiar, which, by the way, when I first heard the actual Jeff Epstein's voice, I did not expect it to come out like that.
Yeah,
you know, just from the way it looks.
Like, just so gross and abhorrent.
Yeah. Well, he just sounds like Woody Allen.
I hate that you had to use that guy as an example because we share the same name, but gotcha. Well, no, I mean, I don't know, dude. Let's next conspiracy.
I think it's like a distraction. It's like, hey, look over here. Look at this guy. It's funny. You know, and
there might be other ones that look like him too.
Yeah. I also think that I think a lot of these have been debunked. I will say there are a couple that are hard to differentiate, but there's a few that were debunked where he was in Israel. But then there's like I said, there's a couple more that like, I don't know, it's just so hard to tell like what the heck is real, you know, at this point. So who knows? But I do not believe that Palm Beach Pete is God, I just had a seizure. I do not believe that Palm Beach Pete is old Jeff Epstein.
Yeah. And by the way, just in case
Stein.
I thought you were on purpose mispronouncing it so we don't get like flagged or something.
Well, I did it first and then now I'm
okay. Now you're just going full in. Who cares? Cool. Good to know.
Dude, you cannot tell. We've had episodes where you've mispronounced a name the whole time.
And then not just names, but also words. Okay. And then I'm just re-recording that word and just splicing her in.
Dude, the funniest one is we did like an entire episode. And the second we stopped filming, I was like, hey, man, I think you're just saying this wrong.
Yeah, what was it?
And you were like, oh, God.
You know, and then I'm just like, well, and then the other day it was like forecast. And I was just like, you know, yeah, that's funny.
The next one is one of my all-time favorites. And that is...
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's fruit snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's fruit snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey, this is Woody.
And this is Tyler. And you're listening to That Would Be Rad.
And now, back to our show.
The moon landing was faked.
Oh, God, I knew this one was coming.
I told you there's
I just dreaded it, man.
There's A, B, and C list conspiracies on here.
I don't even know. Well, no matter what, here's the thing. There's only one, folks listening, there's only one way I can answer this to where Tyler would be satisfied, but he already knows what my answer is going to be.
And I'm about
and he's going to be
so
like,
pissed.
I can't believe.
Yeah, I'm going to be pissed.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go with
anything below 4 and we're done.
Yeah, no. Dude, I'm going to go, just for the sake of controversy.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go 1.
Oh my God.
You guys should see how red his face just got. So mad.
Oh God. This one, I just
that's
don't know.
This is your fault for bringing it up. This is why we haven't had an episode about it, because I don't want to argue about it. And here you go. You're just trying to push the buttons, your own buttons.
Obviously, I'm going to go 5 because I have critical thinking.
Okay.
And I trust my eyes.
Okay.
Addendum. Stanley Kubrick filmed it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple. Here's the thing. Let me.
There we go.
Let me talk about my answer.
Back it up.
No, I'm not backing it up.
Backing up.
I'm not backing it up. I'm just saying, let me qualify a couple of things. In fact, okay, yes. Okay, I'll change it. I'll change it to a 2.5 because there's not enough.
Dude, you are the worst.
And well, maybe even a 2. Because I'm giving you a little bit because I feel like
wait. Are you saying
there was some production value in it all, including like, well, how did they answer back?
Yeah,
because I think
everything.
But listen. Because do I think they weren't there? No. But do I think they like pre-produced it so that people tuning in weren't just like, well, now we got to wait a half hour until, no. I think it was a production that was well thought out, and even like things said were scripted and all that. So maybe I give it a 2.
So real quick, is this 2 for the first part that it was fake? Or for the Stanley Kubrick?
It just depends. Like when you say fake, you mean like it wasn't happening. It just depends. Like if you're asking me, do I think it happened in real
fake.
time the way that it did? I would say no. I don't think that. I don't think that
go
happened.
to the moon.
But not go to the moon. Period. No, that's a 1 for me. Yeah, sorry, man. And then like Stanley Kubrick being involved in on the production side of things, I think that's pretty easily like a 5, right? I mean, like I think his studio was involved in at some capacity, one way or the other. So
okay.
But listen, I'm also saying yes, my answer is a 1, but that's not to say that it couldn't be changed. In my mind, anyway. I just. Some of the things that people use as evidence just,
like
I don't
the
know.
Hasselblad film and the camera, like being impossible. The fact that like when you see the rover blast off to leave the planet, there's a hand up shot. Who was doing that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've done so much research into this. As far as the Kubrick thing though, I really don't know where I stand because I think at first I had a little more belief because there was a lot of, obviously of the time he was such an amazing talent in like replicating real life,
okay. So that's the question, like whether or not he replicated it. Because I'm just saying, I've heard that like so for the people that are just like, no, he didn't replicate it.
Well, no. That he basically like filmed it and everything.
The faking and all that. Okay,
like
yeah. I don't know what my answer would be, but I know that I think from the arguments that I've heard on the other side of it is, yes, they hired him. They created a simulated environment so that they could sort of say, okay, we need the camera to be, again, for the purposes of a good production. Yeah, no, but dude, if you give him, going back to that time,
we can't because we've lost all the technology.
Well, okay, I'm saying going back to that time period, it was such a huge thing, and it was one of those things I think that was utilized to bring the country together and all that during a time
I believe that
not so dissimilar to our own.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tension stuff going on back then. You got race stuff happening, and you've got all this other stuff, and it's like we need a distraction.
You mean like race or like the space race?
Well, there's a space race, but I mean like racial division, in the
space
country, equal rights and all that kind of stuff. That movement happening, and the country just feeling like it was on fire. And like I said, not too dissimilar to our time period, where we now see things and can just, obviously sort of just be like, okay, we can categorize this event as a distraction.
Right.
So anyway, all that to say, this specifically, I don't know enough. My initial reaction is a 1, but I purposely just don't even, I've seen fair amounts on both sides. I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to go with 2 because I think, I fully believe that it's fake.
Okay, so you're a 5 on the fake.
I'm a 5 on the fake, but I'm a 2 on Kubrick's involvement, not just because I have the T-shirt, but because it literally just says Kubrick's moon landing film crew. I do think that there was a lot of contracting when it comes to sort of Hollywood and like, Operation Mockingbird, Project Mockingbird, all this stuff. So there's like a lot of connective tissue between Hollywood and the government with sort of pulling the wool over our eyes. And like I was saying, he was so good at like replicating like everything down to like the bolt, of these, like in his films that I think they definitely would have he would have been the guy to go to, you know what I mean? But the thing that drops me down maybe 2 points is probably, I don't know, probably like 10 or 12 years ago, there was like this big buzz of like, there was this like, lost footage of an interview of them interviewing him. And, this was before AI and stuff, but it obviously was not him in the interview. So I kind of felt like, I don't know, it just sort of felt like disinformation. But then at the same time, I don't know, maybe that was the whole point of it, to have like a video that clearly wasn't interviewing the actual Kubrick. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 2.
Okay.
Next up, Area 51 is real and Bob Lazar told the truth.
Now, you're going to get mad at me whenever I ask this question.
I'm going to lose.
Never mind. Let me rewind how I phrased that, actually. Why don't you, for people that might not know, what do you, when you say Bob Lazar told the truth, you're saying his truth is what? That they have reverse engineered stuff and he worked on the project? Is that the basic?
Yeah, so 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
Area 51 was in...
Not for me, but for the benefit of everybody.
Yeah, so Area 51 is in Nevada, and back in the 80s and 90s is when I think we really started hearing about it. Like I remember, and this probably actually would have been post Bob Lazar, like before I'd ever even heard that name, but it was an Air Force facility, and it was, sort of close to Las Vegas. And the whole thing was like, it's, they're testing spy planes, they're doing this. And then it started going deeper, saying that basically they had craft, like UFO, like alien crafts. And Bob Lazar is a guy who would then go on to become the whistleblower and kind of blow it up, really, as far as like the public knowledge of it. And he came out basically saying, yes, I was an astrophysicist. I could be wrong on that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. He was like a genius, basically.
I think basically we're getting a little long in the tooth there. He basically said that he was part of the project to reverse engineer this technology to figure out how to use it on our own. So the two-part question is, do I really think that there was a UFO crash? And then secondarily to that, do I believe that Bob Lazar worked on it and has been telling the truth the whole time? Okay, let me start at the top there.
Okay.
Do I think that there's a UFO crash? I'm going 5.
Nice.
Do I think Bob Lazar worked on it? I'm going 5.
Nice.
I mean, based on everything
that
we've talked about before, and even just the small amount of true knowledge that I have about this, I would say this too. Let me kind of correct whether or not Bob Lazar the 5. Although it is still a 5, I also think that there's an absolute 5 that he believes that he did. I don't think that he doesn't. Well, I was going to say he doesn't come off like kooky, but people might argue with that a little bit. He doesn't come off like somebody that's trying to... No. I don't know, man.
I don't think he's ever actually pursued any kind of...
I'm sure he makes money off of this in some way.
Well, that's the thing.
Doesn't he have like the tours where he...
Well, so that didn't even start until recently with the Jeremy Corbell stuff, when he put out the documentary Lazar, which is really fascinating, and it's awesome. It's like Mickey Rourke is like narrating, and the thing about him that's crazy is like multiple things that he came out and talked about in the 90s, because it was called like S4. That was like the section of Area 51.
That's on Netflix now, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I remember like paying for it back in the day, but not that I don't pay for Netflix.
So rich.
Yeah, super wealthy. But multiple things that he talked about. He talked about like this hand like scanner like reader thing that was in the base. He talked about this thing called Element 115, and all these things kind of came out as public knowledge, quote unquote, like discoveries or things that existed years and years later. And so I think a lot of it, like, because he didn't really he stayed completely quiet until he truly felt like he was going to be taken out. And like, if you watch it, there's like multiple things where they were like raiding his house, raiding his lab. And he's thinking like, man, I just have to have like, I have to go to the news and make this so transparent that I can't be like taken out, basically. And so I think George Knapp was the guy that he went to, who was like a newscaster. There was like a sort of nationwide newscaster guy. So he kind of broke the story. There is a theory that it wasn't actually Area 51, but that was sort of a smokescreen for like another facility that was like a little ways away. I could kind of get behind that, but at the same time, I will say, as soon as he kind of like blew it up, like the base itself totally went black within several years.
Wow.
So, I don't know.
So where are you at? What's your?
I'm fully
Fives?
behind him. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the quirkiness that you were talking about is, honestly, I think he's probably somewhat on the spectrum.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's actually an alien. That he.
No.
Okay.
Man, that would be amazing though.
If that was the psyop, like he's just like, I'm working. I just want to be a whistleblower here. And he's
what
like,
a flip.
They think I'm human.
Oh, dude, here's the new movie. Bob Lazar is the alien
That crash landed.
No. He's been covert in working at Area 51. He blew it up on the news to shut it down because he knew that they were creating stuff to fight his race.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
There you go. Boom.
$1 million idea.
You're
it's now
welcome.
documented. We got to take. We're going to get points.
Yeah, we do get points on
Tyler gets 49%. I get 51% based on.
Yeah. So yeah, 5 and 5 for Bob Lazar and Area 51. Next one, the Earth is flat.
We will return after these messages.
Hey, Washington, D.C., class it up with Crocs. You know back to school is coming in fast. So why wait to find your new fave footwear? Step into a local Crocs store and step into your new look. Try it, style it, make it yours. Because the right pair doesn't just show up, it shows off. First day fits, handled. Walk out ready for whatever's next. Visit your nearest Crocs store today.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit, and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love, and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey, this is Woody.
And this is Tyler. And you're listening to That Would Be Rad.
And now, back to our show. Also, in the realm of my least favorite, I'm going 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, it might even be a 0.
Okay. Well, you can't have 0.
Okay, well, 1.
I'm going to say, and this isn't going to make me sound nuts. Well, maybe to some of you will. I don't necessarily believe that the Earth is flat, but I do see that there's been so much propaganda. There's been so much sort of, narrative building that I'm pretty black-pilled with anything regarding anything that we've been taught as like the official narrative. Mm-hmm. And so while I don't necessarily believe the Earth is flat, I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
Off the basis that I also equally don't believe that the Earth is anything like we've been told.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have such a distrust and such a...
Here's the thing. I thought you were going to say, I'm not going to say the Earth's flat. But
5.
But I don't think it's round.
Well, I mean...
Well, I don't know that it's... Okay, look. The reason why it appears round is a different sort of discussion. But what I'm saying is, you got to elaborate. I forget what you just said, but it was something that I need some elaboration.
Well, I'm just saying that, like...
Oh, it's different than we've been told. What do you mean? Tell us what you mean by that.
Well, that's the thing. And it's... What I'm about to say is something that I feel like is very representative of our podcast just as a whole, you know?
Okay.
And that is just the idea that, like, I don't really know.
Okay, fair enough, dude.
You know, I don't know, but what I do know that we've been fed so much disinformation for years. You know, the Rockefeller Education Initiative. Dude,
he said all of these other conspiracies just to be able to start listing all of the other ones. No, but
well,
I'm
this
just
is true.
kidding. Yeah.
But there are so many things that are just absolute nonsense. I mean, to me, the whole NASA thing is absolute. You know,
this is like immediate flashbacks to Ellis's wedding when we just like you're getting into arguments with people at the dinner table, and I'm just going, guys, can we just can we just talk about which one was better, the chicken or the fish? You know what I mean? Like, this is just
okay. And here's why it bothers me. It bothers me when you have people who haven't done a single second of research into this versus, and honestly, what's funny is I feel like since
I'm getting them fired up, folks.
I'm getting fired up. Since we've started the show, I do have a new respect on even the people that like say stuff that is super outlandish that I don't believe at all. I still look at them differently now as I would have maybe like 10 years ago. But,
yeah,
and that's the reason.
For me on that end, I agree. Like, because no matter what, it's all entertaining, and there's someone out there that's making some compelling argument, and it's just fun to like listen to. As long as, so my standard is as long as it's not bringing harm or potential harm towards someone else, then yeah, let me hear it, man. You have that capability, and ultimately, like, everybody has that right to sort of, do that. It's just that when there are consequences to someone's life, because that, going back to Pensacola Pete or whatever, I feel bad for the guy because he happens to look like one of the worst people to ever exist on planet Earth. And
see, I think it's the opposite. I think he's just an actor that's just living it up.
He is him. The original one. And he made the other one in there. The real Pensacola Pete is the one they got alive.
That's genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just saying that, like, I have a new, more mature view than a lot of other people. And
did you hear?
I'm talking to you, Dan.
Dig.
That's you, Dan.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because you have people who have spent decades doing research into this topic versus somebody who has never done an ounce of looking into anything, and they're just like laughing at the dude, and it's like, yeah, he may be wrong, but he still has like the evidence that he's bringing, while it may not be like ironclad and present like a positive or affirmation of his, like what he's talking about, he's still bringing like massively like compelling evidence that is at least stating that, like, well, yeah, this absolutely does fly in the face of what we've been told. And that's where I'm
and not to mention, like, if you look just like Chad Bowers, you should probably just like give him a break,
You're so stupid.
Just let him talk about the moon or whatever,
Poor that's guy. Another one. That's a hologram.
Poor
sure.
Guy. Oh man.
I don't know what the
mean, that stuff is kind of fun to okay. I don't know if you have this one scribbled down.
The moon?
But not just the moon, but like I've recently and again, some of this stuff just like pops up in the feed, and I'm very surface leveling this right now. But there is some sort of conspiracy that is something like this, which is everything that we see, like there's nothing beyond, there's actually nothing beyond it. It's all just like a fake. Sort of like what's the movie with Jim Carrey? No, like
like the Truman Show.
The Truman Show, yeah.
Right.
So, but imagine that, like the scope of it, instead of it just being the sky and there's a door there, it's just even further than that, and it's just like the moon itself isn't a real thing. If you just flew a spaceship or a rocket towards it, you would just basically keep on going and then hit a barrier, and then whatever on the other side of that is like. Who's controlling the quote-unquote matrix, the experiment?
Again, you don't know this, but you're veering back into some of the flat Earth, like firmament hypothesis, which again, don't know really where I stand on it, but I think it's fascinating. And I think here's the thing that's weird to me. I thought you were about to go into this, the moon not. Sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
There's this idea that is actually. This is like pretty wild. So there's this I guess he was on YouTube originally, but there's a guy named like it's like Crow 777 or whatever. and his whole life has been based on like telescopes, right?
Okay.
And filming, the cosmos, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Huge, like, I mean, I guess you could maybe say like hobbyist, but I feel like that kind of takes away from what he is. This is his life's like obsession.
Mm-hmm.
He started noticing this thing called the lunar wave phenomenon.
Okay.
And it's this, and he has like multiple videos of this through the years where you basically see the moon, right? And, he has them like close up, and that's the other thing is like, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think you can really see it like, just looking at it
with the naked eye.
With the naked eye, right? And, but it's basically, you see the moon, and then you literally see like a line just going through the moon, which almost looks like a television where you would see like the film going from top to bottom.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, and it's really it's kind of wild. So like there is this theory that like the moon is like almost like a hologram. I don't know totally where I stand on this. There's also another theory that it was like the moon is like has been placed there by another civilization or something, or like an alien civilization.
Well, I mean, dude, here's what I will give you in all of this, and that is when you start to think about the science and how everything works perfectly, it's real hard to not think that there is some sort of, the fact that if we tilted even a degree, the Earth, the axis, that's what I'm saying. Right? Like
it just doesn't.
It starts getting crazy. Well, it adds up, but I'm just saying like how things could change so intensely for everyone on Earth, or if the moon, was a little bit further away, or it just, and in fact, I think I just read an article maybe a couple weeks ago about how it is actually slowly, our gravity is, the pull of our gravity to the moon is getting like weaker. And so it's going to eventually, and we're talking like 200,000 years or something, even maybe more. I don't know. Because immediately I was like, what? Because I know how much the moon affects things like tides and all this other stuff.
Right.
That it's just crazy to think that like everything is in sync like that,
Speaking of which, have you heard of this paper from NASA apparently that, and I'm not super well versed, but I think is it August?
Yeah. It already passed. You're talking about the gravity reversal?
Gravity thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already passed.
Yeah, it's already, thank God. So whenever I see stuff like that, same thing happened with the Mayan calendar thing. I see it by accident.
Oh, dude,
and
by
then
the
I
way,
go into full-on anxiety, alarm mode, everything, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then I just have to like remove it from my head, forget about it. And so I happen to just see the date. I want to say it was like the 13th or 17th, something like that.
I thought it was like the 22nd.
No.
Okay.
Don't say that, man. Anyway, no. I'm not looking it up. No. But so apparently the theory that Tyler's talking about is that we will lose gravity for
it's like
a number
11
of minutes, I think, right?
No. It's just like 11 seconds. It's not even
seconds. And what would happen there or something. And so I was reading some people's thoughts on that. And it's like, dude, imagine if you, so it reminds me, not spoiler alert, because this happens at the very beginning of the book, but if you haven't read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet, the first book, something happens in the beginning that's like, if you're inside or outside, that matters. This kind of reminded me of that. It's like, if you're outside, you just be straight up in the air, and then when you're falling back down, dead instantly, dude.
Well, no, but the scarier thing is like, no matter where you're at, unless you're in like a deep underground setup, you're still gonna fall off the planet, because everything that we have is like basically kept down by gravity. So like if you think about it, like your house foundation just falls out of the square that it's sitting in.
Yeah, I don't know the math well enough to know if everything just gets uprooted instantly. I don't know in terms of like the those calculations of force and all that. Okay, I like that. Okay, definitely.
I have looked into that because I was like, is this like
anyway?
Apparently, the thing is though, is like the NASA paper is apparently true from what I've read. I don't know, I don't know much beyond that, but like it is strange that they have like a specific date.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It freaks me out every time you see a date like that, and then it's like, man, what do I need to do? Like, just belt myself in? What,
Right. Yeah. Okay. So talking about this before we move on, I just heard a new hypothesis that I thought was really, really interesting. So, and it kind of catches up with another question later, but that is, the apparently, or I guess supposedly, the Mandela effect, people started seeing the differences and the changes in 2012, right?
Oh, you mean for the, like what I just said, right? The Mayan calendar thing, right?
Well, wait for it. So the crazy thing is apparently CERN booted up right before 2012, or maybe at the beginning of 2012, right? So people think like, okay, well, maybe that's when we like switched timelines, right?
Yeah.
The idea was that like, oh, well, maybe CERN isn't the bad guys. I do think CERN's the bad guys, but maybe CERN isn't the bad guys, and they actually switched the timelines just in time to get off of that timeline where the Mayan calendar actually dooms that timeline. It's pretty it's probably, it's totally fiction, I'm sure, but it's kind of fascinating. It's a cool idea. It's all
fascinating as long as like I don't have to like,
strap
use my money to like buy a gravity-proof bunker or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, moving around along here. Next up, and we're running out of time, but we've just discovered, because I have so many of these, that there actually will be a part 2, because this is just like, it's too much fun.
I gotta say, man, I actually love this because I'm finally just being able to just tell the truth here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get a new, by the next one,
There's going to be a new host. Yeah.
New host, yeah. Pretty upset about this. Next one is Avril Lavigne was replaced by a double named Melissa in 2003.
Yeah, this is another one of those that I don't know enough about. First, I kind of think it's hilarious a little bit, but I just don't know. I haven't paid attention to Avril Lavigne since ever. Okay, so I don't know enough of the evidence. It would be this is, however, one that I want to explore a little bit, just because I'm always curious about these sort of more modern conspiracy theories like this of someone sort of being replaced by a body double. Yeah, because I think she was a pretty big star for a fair amount of time, and I feel like
huge,
one of the things that they do, or should do, I guess maybe in certain security situations, is sort of Queen Amidala, the situation where you've got all these body doubles that sort of look like you, that can kind of, especially like, is paparazzi still even like a thing?
Yeah, it's probably just taking like a different form though.
Okay, because I just feel like it's not the same kind of craze as it was in the 90s,
Right.
Which that kind of reminds me of another conspiracy. I'm not sure if it's on the list, but it should be. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I just don't know enough about it to give you a fair score. So I'm going 2.5 on this one.
2.5. I'm going to go 3 because I kind of have the exact same thought. I think it's really interesting. Apparently there's photos of them together pre-2003, and then there's like a photo shoot to where on the palm of her hand in 2003 it just says Melissa, which is just kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. I will say this kind of stuff I have so much more belief in after doing such a massive deep dive on Andrew WK.
Well, gosh, you're not kidding, man.
It just opened my eye. I mean, I was already super conspiracy theorist guy, but that was like, whoa.
Yeah. I have to say, that's probably that whole situation is probably what it did open my mind a fair amount too.
Yeah.
Hear more about this on the previous episode of That Would Be Rad. Season 2, Episode 4, The Andrew WK Conspiracy.
Okay, just a couple more here. Princess Diana was taken out by the royals.
And that's the one I was talking about when I said paparazzi. Look, this is one that I do know, quote unquote, more about because, and let me explain. Whenever I was a kid, massive crush on Princess Diana.
Oh, yeah, same.
I mean, dude. And at the time, I was living overseas, And in fact, she came and visited, I swear we've talked about this on the show, but she came and visited Jakarta when I lived there. She came, she went to the British school, not the international school that I went to. And I just knew, man, oh man, maybe she's going to come here and I'm finally she's going to love me.
Yeah.
But what, you're only in 5th grade. It won't matter. Anyway, that's just kind of how my brain worked. So anyways, like just had a massive crush on her. I always thought she was awesome.
Yeah.
But, you know, watching various things, and in fact, I think within the last, within the last year, I watched a couple documentaries, and I got to say, man, I'm going to go 4.
4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I will say they definitely 100% 5 on the fact that they didn't like her.
No, they wanted her out.
You know, how much she was saying and just anything that she was doing, truly, because she just wasn't like that. And the more I sort of learned about that, the easier it is to believe that there was something else involved. It's just all a little too convenient.
So you kind of reminded me of something that I'm so glad that you were talking about, that being in Indonesia. Okay. They've actually come across a person from Indonesia back in 2012 that just posted on Twitter. Again, 2012, supposedly when the Mandela effect started, supposedly when the Earth, whatever. And they just wrote, "Stop Chat GPT!" Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
Come on.
Yeah. Back in 2012, it's gone viral by a Marie Ann
Twinett.
Oh, that would be crazy. And so here's some facts. OpenAI didn't exist until 2015. The ChatGPT project itself didn't even appear until 2018, and it wasn't released publicly until November of 2022.
The hard part is the most difficult part of modern life, as we know it right now, this very second, is it's so nearly impossible nowadays to verify whether or not that 2012 tweet is actually real. That's the hard part. Nowadays, it's even hard to, you know, it's just all the fake stuff, the deep fake type stuff, even like voices or videos. It's just getting so much more sophisticated that, I mean, it's an interesting theory. It's crazy. That, you know, my initial thought on anything post, you know, I don't know, 2012 is fine to use, but 2000 is everything after that could be fake. You know what I mean? I mean, especially now, it's like anything in the last 5 years that it's just, hey, we've got this. And it's like, I can't believe it because it's so easy to make it look like a shaky handheld cam video of a dadgum Bigfoot, you know?
Although I do have to say, I think that I do feel like it's plateaued a little. And I feel like people are like, I don't know, if, like gaining the ability. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but like people, even your normies who typically would have been fooled immediately are now able to be like, yeah, that's AI.
Yeah.
There's just like,
but here's
markers.
the thing that sucks about it though. No joke. I was watching some older movie with my youngest.
Well, you're a boomer though, so that you're the
no. But I'm just saying, this is a movie. Oh no, it might have even been. It was either The Goonies or Princess Bride, and she's just like, if she doesn't say, "Oh, that's AI," she would say, "Oh, that's just green screen." I'm like, no. Now, you know, in Princess Bride maybe, but I think it might have been. I don't know what movie it was. Okay, but it was something that it was clearly 100% not AI or green, impossible to be AI because when it came out, and then 2, not green screen because you know it's just not, and so that's what sucks that now they're viewing that. I'm not joking. We'll walk through like they can decipher it in marketing. So it's just on a poster or something like, dude, that is so AI.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, 4 years ago, even, or maybe 3, I don't even know, when it was just sort of like, oh man, you know, there's going to be this rush of just AI kind of taking over the writing of, you know, or the illustrations of comics and stuff. And I know that there has been that usage and stuff, but at the same time, I think there's going to be this time where people are just like, dude, I got to get the real thing.
Oh yeah.
I've got to have that, like, and it's happening with my kids, and it's certainly going to be happening with the generation behind them. They're going to crave authenticity. They're going to crave that analog version of things.
One of the things that I'm starting to see sort of in the design world too is it's almost like bad design is almost starting to become like good design, because you can tell that it's real, and it's not just this like perfectly silly poster that's been culminated from like 15 different artists and stitched together. It's like, so I do think that's interesting. I know you got to go, and so I'm gonna do the last one here, and that is, which you're gonna be mad because we're probably gonna discuss just for a second. Aliens are demons,
and we're gonna get to that next week, man. Got to.
Oh, you're leaving me hanging. But if you love this episode as much as we did, drop us a comment over at Instagram. Shoot us a DM if you have your own story, your own conspiracy theory that we haven't touched yet, which it's probably going to be on part 2. But if you want us to talk about it, shoot us a line. If you have a story, an experience, whatever, an idea, and it's more long form, shoot it to thatwouldberad@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, and we greatly appreciate it, you can do so over on the Rabbit Trail. That's our Patreon. What else is there? Man, it's been such a long time. Tell 5 friends about the show, or tell a friend about the show. We'll start small. Tell a single friend about the show that you think would be into it. Leave us a 5-star review. That's what I was trying to say, because it really does help, and both of those things are huge in our world, and we couldn't be more thankful. Thank you guys for your patience and sticking around. We know it's been a while, and but we're back, and I think this show and this topic is super fun, and it's a good sort of introduction. So if you have a friend that's into any of those aforementioned topics, tell them about the show. It means a lot to us. What do you got? Anything else?
I think that's it, pal.
All right, pal. Well, we love you. We appreciate you. And as always,
be rad.
That's the way it goes. Time where I just needed some sunshine. You were already dead before you became a ghost. You always said our future would be a parade of flowers, but now all that's left is a single rose. That's the way it goes.
request granted.
Feeling pretty good. Let's get these wiggles out.
I mean, man, how hilarious is it whenever I send you stuff like, man, you look exactly like this guy. That's Chad Bowers.
What's funny is I'm pretty sure when I watched the show like 3 years ago, I texted you the same thing.
It didn't come out 3 years ago. But, yeah.
I think I did.
Oh, man, it's so funny.
It is funny. What's funny is I actually have a friend who kind of actually resembles him.
I mean, the thing is, but you, like, I joke about it, but you really do look like him.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, and like the facial expressions, you know, it just happens naturally because of the makeup. You know, something will happen, he'll just be like, in the background. It's just so funny, dude.
Yeah, just wait, though. It starts to get, this is non-spoiler, but non-spoiler.